Today's session is hip mobility again, slightly different to the other session that we did. We will be needing a block. We'll be using that during our standing poses and during our seated poses or lying down poses, and we have a belt for our seated poses. As always, if there are any positions that you don't like, any postures that don't feel good to you, then stop. Any pain, stop, and just enjoy the session. This is your yoga practice. I'm just giving you suggestions, so if you want to do something totally different, feel free. I'm sort of building a bit on last week's hip opener sequence that we did. So we're going to start again in our child's pose. Maybe have your knees hip width apart if you want, and you could also take your block and place that under your forehead if you find that more comfortable, but you don't need to do that. Arms out in front of you, toes touching, and relax. Start breathing in and out through the nose and staying with that breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth. As we slow our breath down a little bit, as we arrive on our mat, try to be present. Try not to think about anything else going on in your life, anything that happened before, coming after. Let's just take this hour 15-ish for ourselves and relax. As you inhale, feel your abdomen press against your thighs, your abdomen move out, get broader, like a balloon that is expanding. As you exhale, feel your abdomen move in, the belly button moving towards the spine. Inhale, your abdomen expands. Exhale, the abdomen moves in, belly button in. Inhale, your ribs move apart, your chest broadens, your back gets broad as well. Exhale, your ribs move together, your chest sinks a bit lower. Inhale, chest goes broad. Exhale, your ribs move together. Inhale, feel your collarbones rise, your shoulders rise a little bit, breathing into the upper part of the lungs. Exhale, feeling your chest, your upper chest sinking down, shoulders sinking down to the ground. Inhale, shoulders move up, collarbones move up. Exhale, chest moves down. With our next inhale, we're going to feel the whole breath here. So we inhale, our abdomen expands, our ribs move apart, our chest and shoulders move up. And exhale, our chest, lower upper chest moves down, ribs get together, abdomen, belly button moves in. Take a few more breaths like that in your own time. Feeling that full yogic breath. Utilizing the whole part of your lung, the whole capacity to get as much oxygen into your body as you can. if you want to set an intention, a little positive couple of words for yourself or for others. You can do this now. Repeat it a few times, something short, something positive. Or you don't have to do that at all. One more deep breath here. And sort of become more aware of his body again. Wake ourselves up a little bit of this gentle start. Let's slide our shoulders the hands under our shoulders. And on the next inhale, we're pressing into our shoulders, we're coming to kneeling, and we're coming up to tabletop right away. We're going to do our wrist mobilization first, so still having our hands under our shoulders, hands shoulder width apart, knees under hips, but no need to set up too much now. We're just going to rock forward and back. And as always, you can make the movements as big as you want, or as small as you want. It could literally be just a teeny tiny rock, just waking up those wrists early in the day. You could push back into a child's pose, move quite a bit forward, almost into a cobra. Push back however much you want. Let's take a few more rocks here. Maybe getting a bit curious. How does it feel when you rock? How does it feel when the weight moves around your wrists? Very nice. And coming into center and stillness. We're going to turn our hands in. So we're going to turn them around so that our thumbs are pointing to the outside edge of the mat. We're going to bring our hands quite a bit closer to our knees. Both hands at the same time. Fingers pointing to our knees, thumbs outside of the mat, but really nice and wide, really pressing all the fingers into the mat. Pressing into the heel of the hand as well. If you want to rock so that the heel of the hand comes off the mat, that's perfectly fine. And again, small movements or bigger movements, what you want, but it is going to be smaller movements than before. Feeling that stretch again on the inside of your forearm. So feeling a bit of a stretch in your fingers here, depending on how much you press your fingers into the ground. Again, feeling curiosity. I think this is quite, in a way, uncomfortable, but comfortable in the uncomfortableness, if that makes sense, at least for me. If you don't like this, then you can skip this part. All right, one more rock, and we're going to come into center in stillness, and we're going to turn those hands around again. Fingers pointing forward, and now one hand at a time. We're going to place the back of the hand on the mat, the thumbs pointing inwards now, palm facing us, fingers pointing to our knees again. Spreading those fingers nice and wide like a starfish again, having all fingers, even as just the tip of the finger, in contact with the ground, and starting to rock here. Very gently, quite an odd movement, just stretching the back of our wrist, the back of the hand, the back of the forearm. Really nice. Let's have two more rocks here. And when you're in center next, stop there, stillness, and turning that hand around. Just pausing here for a moment so that the hand adjusts, having weight in it again, and other side. Other side again, back of the hand on the ground. Palm facing us, fingers nice and wide and pointing to our knees. And rocking very, very gently here. Really nice. Maybe noticing a difference between both hands as we're doing it one hand at a time. Being curious about it. Could this be because I'm right-handed or left-handed? How do I use my hands? But not judging, just curiosity. Right, one more rock here. And when you're in center next, stopping there, turning that hand around, placing the hand down, pausing for a moment, and then sit on our heels so that we can shake our hands out. Shaking them like you're trying to shake water off your fingers. And then stopping, stretching your arms out in front of you, making fists, and circling your hands one way, couple of times, and then other way around. Another few times. Lovely, really nice. All right, let's come into our tabletop again. I'm setting it up now for, actually, I'm going to do a shoulder stretch first. So we're going to inhale, we're going to raise our left arm up. And exhale, we're going to thread the needle through that hole between our right arm and right thigh, placing the shoulder down. Very nice. And our cheek, left cheek on the mat. If you want, you can stretch your right arm out in front of you. And try and sort of imagine that you're pushing your right armpit towards the mat. That engages that right shoulder as well in this shoulder stretch. Staying here for another 2 breaths. Next inhale, we're going to bring our right hand in front of our face. Exhale here. Inhale, we're pushing into the right hand, opening our chest. And exhale, left hand down. Same on the other side. So we're going to inhale, lifting the right hand up. And exhale, threading the needle through that gap between our left arm and left knee. Coming down, right cheek on the ground, on the mat. Right shoulder on the mat, and if you want, stretching that left arm out in front of us, hand palm pressing into the mat. And if you have stretched your arm out, imagine bringing that armpit, that left armpit closer to the mat, activating the left shoulder. Staying here for 2 more breaths. Next inhale, we're going to bring our left hand in front of our face. Exhale here. Inhale, we're pressing into that left hand. Opening the chest to the right. And exhale, hand down. Alright, now we're going to do our cat-cow. So coming into tabletop. Our hands are shoulder width apart. Fingers spread nice and wide. Wrists, elbows and shoulders are stacked on top of each other. Our knees are hip width apart and under our hips, toes are pointing back. We're going to inhale, and with the inhale we're arching our spine and we're looking to the ceiling. Shoulder blades move together. Exhale, we're pushing the ground away, we're rounding our spine, bring our chin to our chest. Inhale, we're coming into our cow. Arching that spine, shoulder blades together, bum pointing to the ceiling, looking to the ceiling. Exhale, we're pushing that ground away, we're tucking our pelvis, squeezing the air out of our belly, out of our lungs, chin to chest. Inhale, arching that spine again, looking up, shoulder blades together, shoulders away from the ears, and maybe bending those elbows a tiny bit. Exhale, pushing that ground away, round spine, shoulder blades pushing apart, making that U shape. Inhale, moving into our cow, arching that spine. Imagine you've got a baby elephant sitting on your back, really arching it like crazy. Very nice. And exhale, we're rounding our spine, crown of the head pointing down, chin to chest, squeezing the air out like an accordion. 1 more of each. Inhale, coming into our cow, looking up. Exhale, we're pushing back into that curved spine, angry cat. And at the end of that exhale, we're coming into our neutral spine, tabletop again. We're going to tuck our toes and lifting the knees up gently. We're pushing into the first down dog for today, or of this class. In down dog, you want to keep your hands shoulder width apart, middle fingers pointing forward, arms are straight, shoulders are still away from the ears, but imagine the shoulder blades are pulling apart a little bit, similar to our cat. We want our back nice and flat. If that means we have to bend our knees a little bit, it's early, that's perfectly fine. Your drishti, your focus point, is towards, it's between your big toes. sucking our belly in a little bit, engaging that core. And your feet are parallel to the side of the mat, and you imagine that you pull your heels down to the ground. You don't have to touch the ground with our heels, we just want to activate our legs by pulling those heels down. And breathing here for 1 or 2 breaths, just noting, feeling how we've set up our down dog so we know what we're doing from now on. Really nice, and we're going to start walking forward with our feet, baby steps forward. We're going to stop about foot width behind our hands, feet hip width apart. I'm just going to hang here for a moment, maybe bending those knees a little bit. We're waking up those hamstrings, and legs might still feel a little tired. Tight maybe. Breathing here, and if you want you can start swaying from side to side, maybe drawing those fingertips over the ground if you reach, or you could hold opposite elbows, whatever feels better. If you're drawing those fingers over the ground, maybe see how far behind your heel, maybe you can bring your fingertips, really twisting, waking up that spine, waking up our hamstrings even more with this dynamic stretch. And one more, I'm going to come into center, just relaxing here for one more moment, bending the knees so that you can bring your hands flat to the ground. Just relaxing here, but feeling that stretch. One more breath. And let's bend the knees quite a lot so that we bring our ribs in contact with our thighs. Let's bring our chin to our chest. And we start rolling up. The last thing that comes up is the head. So let's roll up, getting that chest over thighs, straightening those knees, rolling up, coming up, shoulders back and lifting that head. Lovely, really nice. Let's come to the front of our mat and come into our Tadasana, mountain pose, in preparation for our Sun Salutations. So for Tadasana, you can bring your feet together, toes touching, or you could also do it with your feet hip width apart. That's personal preference. Wherever you are, let's lift our toes up, all the toes up in the air, spreading them out wide like a fan, and then let's try and lower them one at a time. So let's lower our little toe, fourth toe, middle toe, second toe, and big toe. Maybe we can see a tiny bit of space between our toes, see the mat, the ground through our toes maybe. Let's lift those heels up, only if that feels good. That's just what I quite like to do. Lowering the heels down, having that really nice firm grounding, feeling as much contact with the ground as you can with your feet. We're going to tuck our pelvis, so instead of having our bum out and back a little bit, just tuck it, making ourselves nice and flat. You want to bring your hands on your hips, just have that feeling of like if you push your bum out like a duck bum, and then making yourself flat. So that's obviously very exaggerated now. That's sort of what I mean when I say tucking the pelvis in a little bit. By doing that, you already start to engage your core and you're protecting your back by doing that. We're going to roll our shoulders up, back and down. By that, we're opening our chest and automatically our palms are facing forward. Looking up, imagine someone's pulling you by the top of your head. So really nice and tall, but tucking the chin a tiny bit so that our neck is nice and flat. Lovely. Let's stand here. Tadasana, mountain, firmly grounded, proud, confident. Right, lovely. Inhale, we're raising our arms up. You can leave your hands either shoulder width apart or bring your hands together, but shoulders away from the ears. Try to pull them down a little. Exhale, we're folding down, flat back, engaging the core. Hands either side of the feet, bending the knees if you have to, that's fine. Forward to shins, forward, forward, forward. Inhale, half forward fold. Hands to shins, flat back, looking down. Imagine where your nose would meet the ground. If there was a little laser pointer that pointed down. Inhaling here. Exhale, hands down. We're stepping back with the right leg. Nice far. Step back, and we're lowering our knee and tucking the toes. And we're staying in the slow lunge. The further back you step in the slow lunge, the more you're going to feel that activation in your hip flexors on the right. Inhale here, exhale. Inhale, we're tucking the toes, stepping back with the right foot. Exhale and plank. Inhale and exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down for 8-point pose. Ashtanga. Our bottom is in the air, our toes are tucked. Inhale, we're sliding forward, we're untucking those toes, coming into Cobra. Our chest is lifted, our bottom ribs are in touch with the ground, hands are either side of our body. Looking forward. Inhale here, exhale, we're tucking the toes, we're pushing back into our down dog. In down dog, if you want to step forward a little bit with your feet, that's perfectly fine. Pushing into those hands, pushing the whole palm, the ball of the hand, where the fingers meet the palm, the knuckles of the fingers. By doing that, we're taking weight out of our wrists. We're using the whole hand, protecting our wrists. Shoulder blades are pushing apart a little bit, shoulders away from the ears. Nice and flat back, knees bent a little bit, maybe feet parallel to the side of the mat. Breathing here for 2 more. Inhale, we're stepping forward with the right foot. Coming to the low lunge again, we're staying here in our low lunge for 1 breath. Really nice. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, we're stepping forward with the back foot, the left foot. Exhale, and inhale, we're coming to half forward fold. Exhale, full forward fold. Hands either side of the feet, forehead shins. Maybe straightening those legs a teeny tiny bit more. Inhale, we're engaging our core, flat back, we're coming up. Exhale, hands into heart center. Lovely, same thing other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding down, flat back. Hands either side of the feet, full forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold, hands to shins. Exhale, hands down. We're stepping back with the left foot this time. Lowering the knee, untucking the toes. Nice big step back and staying here, feeling that stretch in the left hip flexor. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, we're tucking the toes, lifting the left knee, stepping back with the right. Exhale here. Inhale, in plank, and exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down. Lovely. Inhale, sliding forward into our Cobra again, untucking the toes, elbows are into the body, looking forward. Shoulders away from the ears, shoulder blades together. Exhale, tucking the toes and pushing back into our down dog. Again, stepping in a little bit if you want. Staying here for a couple of breaths, looking between our toes. Inhale, feel out your body lengthens, and exhale, maybe bring the chest down a bit, head between your arms. Breathing in and out through your nose as we move. Alright, inhale, we're stepping forward with the left foot. We're staying in this lunge again, but with our knee away from the ground. Staying here, inhale, exhale, inhale, we're stepping forward with the right foot, the back foot, next to the front foot. Inhale, inhale, in our half forward fold, hands to shins, in our half forward fold. Exhale, hands down, full forward fold. Inhale, we're engaging our core, we're coming up with a nice flat back. Exhale, hands into heart center. Lovely. Alright, one more time, we're going to start adding to it, as always. Inhale, arms up, exhale, we're folding down, hands at the sides of the feet. Inhale, half forward fold, looking down. Exhale, hands down, we're stepping back with our right foot, lowering the knee, untucking the toes, staying in this low lunge for 1 breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, we're tucking the toes, lifting the right knee, stepping back into plank. Exhale, inhale, pushing the ground away, and exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down. Inhale, we're sliding forward into Cobra. Exhale, we're pushing back into downward dog. Inhale, let's lift in our down dog. We're lifting the right leg up now. We're staying in a three-legged dog for 2 breaths. As you come into it, you want to keep your leg in line with your body for now. You don't want to lift too much so that your hips open. We'll do that in a moment. Nice straight leg and just pointing it back. You'll probably, if you look back at your leg, you'll definitely see your leg, see your foot. Inhale and exhale. We're stepping forward with that right foot into our high lunge. And inhale, we're lifting our arms up. Lovely. Staying here for 2 breaths. As we've got our arms up, we still want to pull our shoulders away from our ears. Our hips and shoulders are kind of stacked on top of each other, both facing forward. Inhale, exhale, hands down, stepping forward with our right foot. Left foot, sorry. Inhale, hands to shins, looking down, half forward fold. Exhale, hands down, full forward fold. And inhale, engaging the core, we're coming up. And exhale, hands into heart center. Other side. Inhale, we're raising our arms. Exhale, we're folding down, engaging the core to protect our back. Full forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold, hands to shins. Exhale, hands down. We're stepping back with the left foot now. We're coming into that low lunge again, dropping the knee and tucking the toe for 1 breath. Inhale. Exhale. Tucking the toes, lifting the left knee, and stepping back on the inhale. Exhale, staying here. Inhale. And exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down. Inhale, we're sliding forward, untucking the toes into a cobra, shoulder blades together. Exhale, tucking the toes, we're pushing back. Getting into our down dog, maybe stepping those feet in. 1 breath here in our down dog. And with the next inhale, we're lifting the left leg up now. Again, keeping the leg in line with our body, so not lifting it too high. Breathing here for 2, and notice maybe how, as you come into your 3-legged dog, you can bring your heel of the standing leg, here of the right leg, closer to the ground, or maybe even in contact with the ground. Inhale, exhale, and inhale, we're stepping forward with that left leg in between our hands, and in, and then we're coming up into our high lunge. Really nice. Again, shoulders down, away from the ears, arms up. You can have the palms touch, you can just have them shoulder width apart, and imagine you're holding a big beach ball. So really making the fingers do yoga as well. 1 more breath here, inhale. Exhale, and we're bringing the hands down, stepping forward with the right foot, with the back foot to the hands. With the next inhale, we come into our half forward fold, hands to shins. Exhale, hands either side of the feet, full forward fold, Uttanasana. And inhale, we're coming up. And hands into center. Lovely. Alright, 1 more of these, or 2 more of these actually coming, but inhale, we're raising our arms. Exhale, we're folding down. Hands either side of the feet, Uttanasana. Inhale, half forward fold. And we're getting warmer, so bringing your hands either to your shins, or if you wanted, you could bring the fingertips on the mat under your shoulders. Exhale, hands down. We're stepping back in with the right leg, and let's just step back straight away with the left leg, coming into our plank. In plank, let's push the ground away, straight arms, shoulder blades apart. Inhale here, and exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down. Lovely. Inhale, we're sliding forward into our Cobra, Bhujangasana. Toes pointing back. Exhale, tucking the toes, pushing into our downward dog. If you want to, stepping your feet in a little. Staying in our down dog for a moment. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, we're lifting that right leg up again and pointing it back. Same thing as before, keeping it in line with our body fat. Lovely. Inhale. Exhale. With the next inhale, we're going to raise our leg a little higher, bending that knee, that right knee, And imagine you're trying to kick your own bum. And at the same time opening that hip a little bit. Bringing that foot a little bit further to the left side. Very nice. And one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, stepping forward with the right foot in between the hands. Inhale, coming in to our high lunge. Inhale. Exhale here. Inhale. Exhale. And we're now going to drop the sole of the back foot, the left foot down, and coming into a warrior two. Lovely. Really nice. Having a nice flat back, flat body is in line with the long edge of the mat. Once you're looking at have a look at your front knee, the right knee. Don't want it to fall in. You want to be able to see your big toe, second toe at least. Arms are up, shoulder level. And looking towards the front middle finger. Very strong warriors there, lovely. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. The next inhale, we're going to try and come back into our high lunge. So pivoting on that ball of the back foot, coming back into our high lunge for one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale, hands down, stepping forward with that left foot, the back foot next to the front right foot. Inhale, half forward fold, either hands to shins or fingertips to mat. And exhale, full forward fold, folding down. Inhale, engaging the core, and we're coming up with a nice flat back. Exhale, hands into heart center. Wonderful, same thing, other side. Inhale, raising our arms. Exhale, folding down, flat back, hands either side of the feet, full forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold, fingertips to mat or hands to shins. Hands down and stepping back, the exhale. Left foot, then right foot, coming into our plank. Inhale. Exhale, we'll bring our knees down, chest down, chin down. And on the inhale, we're sliding forward into our Cobra, untucking the toes. Exhale, we're retucking those toes, pushing into our down dog. And maybe stepping in a little bit if that feels good for you. Staying here for a breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, we're raising that left leg up now. But first staying in line with the body for one breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, raising that leg higher. And now we're bending the knee, bring it over. So if you're trying to kick ourselves in our bottom. Really nice. The further you try and make that leg fall towards the other side, the more you feel a stretch in the right, left hip flexor and side body. One more breath, inhale, and exhale, we're stepping that left leg forward, in between our hands, and inhale, we're coming up into a high lunge. Lovely. High lunge, our knee is over ankle, challenging our balance. Inhale here for another one. Exhale. And with the next inhale, we're dropping that left foot, sole of that foot down to the ground. Making our body nice and flat again. Having our body in line with the long edge of the mat. Arms are at shoulder level. Looking great, guys. And knee is pushing out a little bit. We want to be able to see our big toe and our second toe at least. Knee on top of ankle. We don't want to have a push forward. Back a little bit is perfectly fine, but just not ahead of the ankle. Your body is nice and central. Shoulders away from the ears and looking towards the front middle finger. Breathing here for another two. Okay, with the next inhale, we're going to try and pivot on that back ball of the foot, coming into our high lunge for one more. challenging our balance. Inhale and exhale, hands down either side of the front foot, stepping forward with that right foot. Feet together, inhale, half forward fold, hands to shins or fingertips to mat, and exhale, full forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, engaging our core and calming up. And exhale, hands into heart center. Lovely, guys. So last Sun Salutation, we're going to do a couple of movements from the front. So we're going to do pyramid pose, and then from there we're moving into our triangle. So for pyramid, you have you're sort of stepping, if you're at the front of your mat, you're stepping about halfway back on your mat. And you want to have your feet on train tracks, so hip width apart more or less. So you don't want to be on a tightrope like this, but you want to be nice and parallel, a little bit of space between your legs. That will help you, that helps with stability, but it's also what we want from this pose. Step back with, I step back with my left leg, but you can step back with your right leg. As long as we do both sides, that's all that matters. Woo. And what we're going to do here is, we want to set up so that our hips are pointing forward. If you imagine you had headlights on your hip bones, if you maybe touch your hip bones, you want them to both point forward. You can also look down at your chest. You want to have your chest parallel with the front edge of your mat. So just looking down, and we're going to grab our elbows, our arms behind our back. Wherever you can hold. If you can't reach your elbows, you could also just hold your wrists. Whatever you can do. And inhale, we're looking to the ceiling, we're opening our chest. And exhale, we're folding down, we're hinging from the hip, moving down. And as far as you can keep your body parallel to the ground, and that's lovely. You feel a nice stretch on the inside of the leg, especially the front leg. Inhale, wherever you are, breathing here, stay for another 3. And on the next inhale, we're going to come up slowly with a nice flat back. We're going to stay in the stance, we're going to stay where we are, releasing our arms. We're going to inhale, we're going to make ourselves a bit flat now, opening our chest to the side. And we're going to inhale, raising our arms, and imagine someone's pulling you by the front arm. And actually here you could bring in your block. As we inhale, and exhale, we're folding down into a triangle. And you could place the bottom hand on the block, or you could just place it on hold your shin, or you could have the back of the hand against the leg. And if you can reach the ground, you could just have the fingertip or the palm there, but not necessary. And we want a nice flat body, shoulders on top of each other, hips on top of each other. If you want, you can look up to the top hand, or just looking straight ahead, whatever is more comfortable for your neck. Staying here for 3 more. Breathing gently here. Alright, and with the next inhale, we're going to look down on our bottom hand. And exhale here. And inhale, we're going to gently come up. Exhale, arms down. Let's do 1 more of our triangles. So again, we're going to move. It's a little bit of a practice as well of how to angle your body, making it flat compared to having the hips point forward. So again, looking at your chest. Is it parallel? Is it really facing the front of your mat? Again, holding your elbows behind your back or your wrists. If you wanted, you could try to do a reverse prayer as well. So for that, you would bring your fingertips together and you would see if you can sort of shuffle your hands between, like sort of up between your back, that there's a reverse prayer. But that's not necessary at all. Do whatever feels good for you. Inhaling here, puffing up our chest, opening the chest, and exhale, folding down for another 3 breaths here. inhale, coming up slowly with a nice flat back. And we're going to step forward here. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to step again. Now we know that we need our block, we can place it there. We're going to step back about halfway on your mat. Other foot is now on the back. We're going to place our hands maybe on our hips. Looking down at ourselves is our chest parallel to the front that we're facing. Grabbing our hand with our elbows behind our back or our wrists behind our back, whatever is accessible. Inhale, opening our chest, looking to the ceiling. And exhale, we're folding down here. Wherever we can get to, our chest could be parallel to the ground. It's lovely. Or it can come a little bit lower. And staying here for 3 breaths. And you can look towards your big toe here, the front big toe. And with the next inhale, we're going to come up gently, slowly, with a nice flat back. Lovely. We're going to release our arms. And we now, if we have our block, we can place it on the inside of the front foot. We're going to make our body a little bit flat here. I'm going to inhale, raising our arms to shoulder height, as if someone's pulling you by that front hand. Going to move forward and then exhale, folding down, a bit like a windmill. And wherever you are, placing your hand on your block, on your shin, back of the hand against your calf, or maybe fingertips to mat, wherever you are. That's perfectly fine. That's what's good for you today. Going to stack our shoulders on top of each other, hips on top of each other, nice flat body. Imagine your fingertips are trying to, of the top arm, trying to touch the ceiling. Really having everything do yoga, looking to the top hand, or just straight ahead, whatever's good for your neck. Staying for 2 more breaths. With the next inhale, we're going to look down, exhale here, and inhale coming up from here. And again, we're going to do the same thing as we just did. So we're going to come back into our pyramid pose. There's pyramid because we have that nice triangle between our legs, and then we bring our body down as well. And again, holding our wrists behind our back, so holding our elbows, or if you wanted, try a little reverse prayers, bring your fingertips behind and shimmying one hand between your shoulder blades. See if you can shimmy the other hand between the shoulder blades, bringing the palms together. But as I said, not at all necessary. Inhale, we're looking up, we're opening our chest, and exhale, we're folding down. Wherever we are, we stay here for 3 breaths. And with the next inhale, we're going to come up gently with a nice flat back. Releasing our hands wherever they were. We're going to come to the front of our mat. Lovely. Well done, guys. Alright, we're going to do our balance, and that's the same thing as we did last week. So again, for any balance, you could get help, whether that's a chair or bookshelf or whatever, if you want to help with that. And we're going to do eagle pose. That's what we did last week. So just a reminder, eagle pose. We bend our knees a little bit, we lift one leg, cross it over, maybe see if we can cross the thigh over, maybe see if we can tuck our toes behind the calves, and then do the same thing with the arms. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing that we did at the beginning when we did our Tadasana. So we're lifting all our toes up in the air, spreading them wide, lowering them one at a time. So little toe, second, middle, anyway, we're lowering the few toes one at a time. I got confused there. Lifting our heels up. We're going to bend our knees a tiny bit, and let's start standing on the right. So we're going to lift our left leg up, crossing the left thigh over the right thigh. Okay, left thigh over the right thigh, And then maybe being able to tuck those toes behind the calf. And it's all right to lose our balance. All right, let's touch our left shoulder with our right arm, with the right hand, sorry. Left elbow around the right elbow and coming into eagle arms, either with the back of the hands together or the palms together. And let's stay here for 3 breaths. Let's try. Trying to look at something that isn't moving, that will help. All right, and let's release those arms. And let's release the legs. Let's shake out our foot. And let's do the other side. So again, let's bring our feet next to each other. Again, let's lift our toes up off the ground, lowering them one at a time, lifting our heels, that nice firm grounding, bending our knees. This time we're raising our right leg up, crossing the right thigh over the left, and then maybe tucking those right toes around the left calf. Going to touch our right shoulder with our left hand. Trying to get that balance. All right, right elbow around left elbow, either back of the hands together or palms together. Looking great, and staying here for 3 breaths. And with the next inhale, we're going to release our arms, and release our legs, and let's shake those feet out. Well done, guys. Balances are tough and very frustrating, because we're like, oh, I should have done that, or it should have been easier, should have such an awful word. Whatever you did today was fantastic. So just be proud of yourself. Let's move down, and we're going to come to the ground through a vinyasa. So we're standing at the front of our mat, feet together, tucking our pelvis, standing nice and tall, shoulders back, and inhale, raising our arms. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, half forward fold, hands to shins or fingertips to the mat. Stepping back with whichever foot you prefer, coming into our plank. Inhale, and exhale, we're lowering the knees, chest and chin. Inhale, sliding forward. Exhale, pushing into our downward dog. Inhale, we're going to lift that right leg again. And exhale, bending the knee towards our nose. And we're placing the right foot behind the left hand, right knee behind the right hand. We're dropping the left knee and tucking the toes. We're coming into our pigeon. Again, if you've got a block and your your right glute is quite a way off the ground, you could just place that under your thigh if you like how that feels. You don't have to use the block. Let's stay here for a moment in our pigeon, the first stage. You don't have to move any further than where we are right now, and even if you don't like this, you don't have to stay in this pose for very long. Breathing here for 1 breath. Alright, if you want, you could try and come to your forearms. So gently, 1 arm at a time, lowering to your forearms. Arms shoulder width apart, palms on the ground. Fingers nice and wide, and staying here. Let's stay here for 2 breaths. If you ever feel like you want to get a little deeper in your pigeon, even in this stage, you can just tuck your toes again, lift off the back foot, lift the back knee, and walk your leg a little bit back by tucking the toes and pulling yourself back a little. Not necessary at all though, stay wherever you're comfortable. Alright, if you want, you can stay here or stay in the first option. If you wanted to go a bit further, you could walk your arms out in front of you and see if you can bring your forehead onto the mat. You could also make a pillow out of your hands and place your forehead on the pillow. I guess you could also use your block and place your block. Use your block to rest your forehead on. That's actually quite nice as well. Don't drop too deeply there. But wherever you are, let's say wherever we've gotten to, for another 3 breaths. You will feel quite an intense glute stretch. Opening the hips at the same time. Fantastic stretch for those runners. Alright, let's lift our head. If you brought your head to the ground, let's gently walk our arms back. Bring your hands under our shoulders. Stay here for one more breath. This is, I think, another of these poses that is quite uncomfortable, but also comfortable. It doesn't feel great, but it also feels great. You feel like you need this stretch, even though it's kind of comfortable. Alright, let's drop we'll drop to our right glute now. So that we're sitting onto our right glute, going to move our left leg forward, and now we'll have our right foot, sole of the right foot against the inner thigh of the left. Maybe bring it in a little bit more if you can or want to. If you have a belt, you could bring that near. We're going to do our Garudasana. And for Garudasana, we're going to bring that belt around our straight leg now, which is the left. And we're going to do that little micro twist where we move our chest from facing between our legs to facing the front leg. If you have your belt, you can take that into your hands. Inhale, sit nice and tall. And exhale, hinging from the hip, flat back, keeping the chest open. So if you're not coming down very much, that's perfectly fine. Holding your belt, or holding, if you don't have a belt, holding your calf, your ankle. You can even hold your foot if you can reach, but that's not at all necessary. Inhale here, opening the chest, and exhale, maybe pulling a tiny bit more, and then staying still for a couple of breaths. Alright, with the next inhale, we're going to look up, and exhale, we're gently sliding up to seated again. Let's bring our right leg out in front of us. If we have our belt around it, both feet will now be within the belt. And we're going to do a quick Parsvottanasana, or seated forward fold. Inhale, we're sitting up nice and tall again. Exhale, we're pulling ourselves down, keeping the chest nice and open, not hinging the shoulders. Shoulder blades are together. We're coming wherever we can be. Our feet are flexed, toes pointing to the ceiling. The feet are doing yoga as well. If you don't have a belt, you can just hold your calves or your ankle. You can even bend your knees and then hold your feet. All of these options are perfect. Inhale and staying here for a couple of breaths, looking at the big toes as our drishti, our focus point. Focusing on those toes, building focus a couple of breaths at a time, building concentration. Alright, inhale, we're coming up. And we're now going to bring up the soles of our feet together for our Cobra pose. Just for a moment. You can actually do that, make this a dynamic stretch as well. We're holding our feet, or you can even bring your hands on your ankles, and we're just going to move our knees up and down like a butterfly, like we're about to take off. It's butterfly here. Alright, one more. And let's stop here, and let's bring our feet into, cross our feet over, hands out in front of us, and we're going to step into a plank, pushing straight into a downward dog. And we're now going to do the same sequence on our left side. So inhale, we're lifting the left leg. Exhale, we're bending the knee, we're bringing it to our nose, and we're going to place the left foot behind the right hand, left knee behind the left hand. We're lowering our right knee and tucking the toes. Again, here, if you want, you could walk your foot back a tiny bit. I'm going to stay here in this first version, full pigeon. Again, if you have a block, you could place this under your glutes if you find that more comfortable. But no need. I personally don't particularly like that, but that is personal preference and it's your body, your yoga practice. So do what feels good for you. Inhale here and exhale. I'm going to maybe come down. The next option would be to come down onto your elbows. Elbows are under our shoulders. Arms are parallel to each other, palms into the ground. And breathing here for a few. Again, you could tuck your toes and walk that leg back a tiny bit. Again, not necessary. Staying here for a few breaths. Feeling this quite intense stretch. Alright, if you want to go a little bit further, you can start walking your hands out in front of you, bringing your forehead onto the ground. You could make a pillow out of your hands, or what we did before, you could also place that block under your forehead. That's actually quite nice as well. Wherever you are, let's stay here for another 3 breaths. If you feel that your shin is pulling back and that your mat's moving a little bit as your legs moving back a bit, the front shin, that's perfectly fine. That always happens to me. Alright, one more breath. And let's walk our hands back a little bit, our forearms back a little bit. Placing our hands under our shoulders, staying here for one more breath. Inhale, exhale. Lovely. And we're going to drop onto our left glute now. We're going to cartwheel, we're going to windmill that back leg forward. Coming into our Garudasana on the other side, so the sole of the left foot is against the inside of the right thigh. And the right leg is nice and straight, toes are flexed, pointing to the ceiling. If you have your belt, bring that around your foot. Again, before we come into our Garudasana, we want to do that micro twist, that little twist where we move our chest from facing between our legs to facing our straight leg. Wherever you are, inhale, maybe holding that belt, and exhale, hinging from the hip, keeping your chest nice and open. Either holding your belt, holding the calf, holding your ankle, holding the foot. Any of these options are fantastic. Breathing here, feeling that stretch, noticing maybe how the stretch is different to before. To the other side. Again, just noticing, being curious around our bodies, not judging. Here your drishti, your focus point, your viewpoint is also your big toe. Alright, inhale, we're looking up. Exhale, we're sliding up into seated. We're going to stretch our left leg out now for another seated forward fold with both legs out. Again, your belt should still be in the right position if you're using one. If you're not using one, just hold your calves, your ankles, or even bending those knees. Wherever we are, inhale, sitting up nice and tall, and exhale, we're folding down, holding wherever we are, looking towards those big toes. And staying here for a couple of breaths. Alright. Inhale, we're looking up, and exhale, we're gently coming to seated. We're going to again bring the soles of our feet together for a Cobra pose, Trikonasana. This time let's stay static, so we're going to bring our hands around our feet, fingers are on the back of the feet, thumbs are on the balls of the feet. Opening those feet if we can, a little bit like the pages of a book, like so. And pulling the feet apart. You can have the feet as close to your body or as far away from the body as you find comfortable today. Inhale, just sitting nice and tall, and by pulling those feet, maybe hinging forward a tiny bit, only the tiniest movement, feeling more of a stretch in the inner thighs. Staying here for another 2 breaths. Alright, inhale, we're sitting up nice and tall again. Exhale, we're releasing our feet. Let's bring our knees together, hugging those knees. Rounding our back. Alright, inhale, let's look up. Let's keep our knees bent. We don't need our belt anymore, but have your block ready next to you. And we're going to, with our knees pointing to the ceiling, we're going to gently, gently, gently roll down to our back for a couple of poses on our back. And what we're going to do first is to bring our feet close to our bum. And we're going to inhale, we'll lift our right foot off the mat. We're going to cross our leg over, so having a sort of a figure 4 in our legs. The right foot is just beyond the leg. And it's on the, it's just between your knee and your hip. We can stay here. Again, this is a bit like pigeon, reclining pigeon. You can just stay here if you want. Or if you wanted, you could raise your left foot off the ground and go between, like the gap that is between your right leg and your left leg, and around your left leg, and hold your thigh behind the thigh, or your leg behind the thigh. Staying here for 1 breath. And if you wanted to go further, you could bring your hands to hold around your shin. But wherever you are, you want to have your head on the ground and your back nice and flat. If you're grabbing around your shin, then that means that you have to sort of do like a ladybug back and hunch your shoulders, then just hold behind your thigh. Wherever we are, let's stay here for 3 to 5 breaths. Another way of stretching those glutes. Alright, wherever you are, if you are holding your leg, releasing that clasp, bringing that left foot down to the mat, and releasing the right foot, bringing the right foot down to the mat. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're in here, we're lifting the left leg, we're crossing the leg over so that our left foot is just beyond the thigh of the right. The ankle of the left leg is between knee and hip of the right leg. 1 breath here. And if you want, you can stay here, or you could lift your right foot now off the ground and grab behind your thigh. Staying here for 1 breath as well. If you enjoy this stretch here, stay here. If you think, maybe I could have a little bit more of a stretch, you could try and grab around your shin. If you're grabbing around your shin, you want to be sure that your back is still flat on the ground and also your head is still in contact with the ground. As I said, if that means that you're curling up, have that ladybug back, then just go back to holding behind your thigh. And staying here for 3 to 5 breaths. Obviously, if you want to come out earlier, come out earlier. If you don't like this pose, don't do this pose. Alright, wherever if you're holding your legs, your right leg, let go. Drop that right foot onto the ground and then releasing the left foot, placing that on the ground. Just as a little relaxation, let's bring our knees to our chest and either hold around our shins or hold our knees and we'll just rock from side to side. Alright, let's bring our feet onto the mat again. Again, feet on the ground, knees pointing to the ceiling. We're going to do a couple of back bends, just how we did last week, a couple of bridges. So our arms are on the ground, parallel to our body, palms are pressing into the ground. Try to bring your heels as close to your glutes as you can, as close to your bottom as you can. And staying here for one breath. And then inhale, we're tucking our pelvis. We did that standing up. And lifting our lower back, middle back, upper back off the ground, pushing the hips to the ceiling and our chest to our chin. Keeping our hands, our palms into the ground for now. Breathing here, we're staying for 3, but if you want to come out earlier, please do. Staying for another 2. 1 more. And with the next exhale, we're going to gently lower our upper back, our middle back, our lower back, and untucking that pelvis. Stay here for 1 breath. And with the next inhale, we're going to tuck our pelvis again, roll that pelvis up, as if we're sort of like a Scorpio. And then lifting our hips up, middle back, upper back, and coming up here, hips to ceiling, chest to chin. If you want, you could try to clasp your hands under your back. Interlace those hands, maybe bring the heels of the hands together. And if you're there, maybe see if you can roll onto your shoulders. Staying here for 3 breaths, but if you don't want to do this next version, holding your hands under your back, then don't. 2 more breaths in our little back bend. 1 more breath. If you are holding your hands under your back, let go. And on the next exhale, we're gently lowering upper back down, middle back down, lower back down, and pelvis down. Some breath here. Maybe we felt our legs work quite a bit in this last pose. And 1 more breath, and here we're going to take our block, same thing as last time. We're going to inhale, we're lifting our hips up. If we want, you could just lie on your back. And placing that block under your glutes, under your sacrum, that bony part of your lower back. And just lying here. Maybe closing your eyes. You could even bring your arms a bit further away from the body, palms facing the ceiling. Couple of breaths here, very gentle, very restorative, very relaxing. Again, if this doesn't feel good to you, you can just lie on the ground. Don't have to do anything that you don't want to do in this yoga practice. Alright. Inhale, let's lift our hips off that block, if we use it, and push it to the side. And lowering our hips down. We're going to bring our knees back into our chest 1 more time, maybe rocking from side to side already. And as we're rocking, join in, and drop your knees to the right. The closer your knees are, the further up they are into your upper body, the more intense this twist is going to be. So you can just bring your knees down a little bit to take some intensity out. We're going to bring our arms at shoulder level. Have a look at either side to see. We're going to end up looking into the opposite direction of our legs, so to the left. Palms are facing up, and we're looking at our hands. Try to have both shoulder blades somewhat in contact with the mat. That means that you have to lift your knees off the ground a little bit, that's fine. You could place a block under your knees. Let's stay here for a few moments. Slowing our breath down as we slow our practice down. Alright, with the next inhale, we're going to lift our knees off the ground, bring them back through center, and exhale, we're dropping them to the other side, left side now. Again, you have your arms at shoulder level and have a look at either arm. We've moved our legs, so maybe our arms have moved a bit out of alignment. Going to look to the opposite side, so we're looking to the right here. Closing the eyes if we want to. Again, trying to have our shoulder blades in contact with the mat. Alright, next inhale, we're bringing our knees back into center. Let's hug our knees into our chest one more time. If you want, you can have one more stretch, which would be happy baby. So bringing your legs open and wide, bending those knees, holding your calves, your ankles, or maybe the outside edge of the feet. And just pulling, wherever you are, pulling your thighs into or closer to the mat. And staying here static, or if you wanted to, you could rock from side to side in your happy baby. Remember that when you lose momentum and you're stuck on one side, just pull on the opposite foot. That will help you. Alright, lovely. Coming to stillness wherever you are and releasing happy baby if you were in happy baby with me, and coming to our final relaxation. For that, you should either be in Shavasana with your legs out straight, or you could bring the soles of the feet together for a Supta Kapotasana, reclining Cobra pose, your legs opening, your feet touching. If you want to open your hips a bit more, but it really is personal preference. Shavasana is a beautiful pose. For Shavasana, your feet are hip to mat width apart, feet flopping out. For Trikonasana, the soles of the feet would be touching, knees flopping out. Wherever you are, your back is nice and straight. Try not to have a hollow back. Try to maybe bring your lower back a little bit in contact with the ground, but not forcing anything. Maybe bring the shoulder blades together a tiny bit so that your chest can open, your arms fall out, palms are facing the ceiling. It's about 3 inches, 15-20 centimeters between your palms and your hips, your body. Your neck is straight, chin tucked a little bit to have that flat back, flat neck. Your eyes are shut. Try to have no tension in your forehead, in your face, just relaxing here. As we're breathing here, maybe connecting breath with our breath. Feeling how our body moves on the inhale, expanding, and melts into the ground on the exhale. Just notice our body, what it has done for us in the last hour and a bit. It allowed us to move, allowed us to balance, allowed us to see and feel. Think of our legs that are strong, that allow us to stand, to jump. Our feet that allow us to balance, to feel what is going on beneath us. Our glutes that allow us to stand up straight, kick as well, jump. Our hips allow us to move through this world, move our legs freely. Our abdomen, our back, keeping us strong, giving us posture, housing our digestive system, allowing us to eat, our chest, allowing us to breathe, allowing us to feel. The home for our heart that is beating every moment without us even being aware of it. Our lungs that breathe and bring oxygen, air into our body. Shoulders and arms that allow us to carry heavy loads. Push ourselves up, pull things. Hands allow us to write and feel and interact. Our elbows, bending our arms, giving us that movement. Our neck and throat, holding our head so heavy. Allowing us to speak as well though. Voice box, our vocal cords, making us heard. Telling the people that are important to us that we love them. Our head, home to our brain, allowing us to think, make decisions, clarifying what is going on in our lives. Our eyes that allow us to see, read, learn, see the flowers, see nature, snow, see the face of the people that we love, the faces of them, the faces of our friends. Read other people's emotions and help them. Our mouth, again, it helps us to speak. Also allows us to taste, to drink, to eat. All those little pleasures that maybe have become more important over the last year. We've been not allowed to travel, seeing fewer people, or maybe we've started cooking a bit more, enjoying food. Just trying to think of all of those things that our body does for us. Being grateful for it. Grateful for what we have. No criticism. Just being happy that we can. Slowly bring balance back into your body. Maybe taking a nice deep inhale. And sigh on an exhale. Inhale. And sigh. Bring some movement into your body. Stretch your legs out. Move your wrists, your ankles, your fingers, your toes. Inhale, arms overhead. Bring your hands, your fingertips together. Stretching, reaching with your fingertips, pointing your toes for a full body stretch. And release. Let's hug our knees into our body. And dropping to the right side. Placing our head on our right upper arm. Staying in a fetal position for a moment. And then with the left hand in front of our face, pushing into that hand and coming into seated gently and slowly. Alright, let's come into a nice, easy seated position. That could be cross-legged, that could be kneeling. I'm going to do one inhale, arms wide, hands together overhead, and exhale, let's pull our hands down. I'm going to bring our thumbs to our third eye, the space between our eyebrows, for clear and kind thoughts. Thumbs to our throat for clear and kind words. Thumbs to our heart for clear and kind feelings, for others and for ourselves. If you want, bow with the gratitude to the practice of yoga and gratitude for yourself for moving today. Thank you so much for moving with me. Thank you for being here.